On the other end of the scale, we see technologies that comes from the open network environment. They believe that the air interface should be open and non-proprietary. And organizations like the IEEE are working very hard to create technologies that will allow devices to communicate with base stations, but there's no proprietary nature linked to these different technologies. On the screen, the open network philosophy is all about focusing on creating a commoditized air interface. And that commoditized air interface really means that any manufacturer can manufacture these different technologies and they don't have to pay royalties every time it is used. Different technologies under the controlled network space, those controlled by 3GPP, are technologies like WCDMA and HSDPA. HSDPA is just a software upgrade on the CDMA technology, which will allow a higher packet speed that people can utilize to download information from the internet. The air interface technologies can be classified as Wi-Fi, that we know quite well by now, and technologies like WiMAX that will become available in various variants over the next few years. We also see upgrades of the speed of these small hotspots. The IEEE 802.11n standard provides up to 540 megabits per second for Wi-Fi hotspots via technology called MIMO. And that really means that these small Wi-Fi hotspots can become extremely fast. We also see that the IEEE are looking at creating a standard for mesh networks, which will allow that these small high-speed networks to be connected together, which means that millions of these small hotspots can in effect blanket coverage large areas of countryside and in the city to allow wireless communication via a very cheap infrastructure. One of the current initiatives underway is where Google is looking at creating Wi-Fi hotspots throughout San Francisco, allowing each and every single user up to 400 kilobits per second of free bandwidth. So this means that a whole city gets connected to the internet free of charge. Google will most certainly subsidize all of that via advertising, but it allows a whole new business model to emerge. So instead of charging people for a telephone call, you now have free internet access subsidized by advertising, and you can make voice over IP calls, send email, or access the internet whenever you want to. And this is going to be the future of mesh networks, millions of these hotspots, all interconnected, with a few of them having lines to the internet. But wherever you are within that mesh, you will be able to get connected to anyone else that has an internet address. Some other technologies, the proprietary technologies, are focused at the bottom. And it's quite interesting to note that a number of these technologies provide end-to-end IP connectivity. That's exactly what the fourth generation networks is all about, end-to-end IP connectivity. But they all have a proprietary air interface. So they don't have an open, commoditized air interface. They actually want to make money either out of the value chain or out of the specific technologies that they use. Here we see companies like iBurst or technologies like Flash OFDM that provides different technologies. Flash OFDM is purely a technology-focused solution. So they focus on the chipsets and the technology, and then they allow large vendors to implement their technology worldwide. So Flash, that is right now owned by Qualcomm, will actually go to companies like Siemens or any other big vendor to implement their technology on their behalf. We see companies like iBurst having more extended value chain focus, where they manufacture the hardware themselves and they brand every single thing in the value chain. What we have seen is that in the past, the technology-focused solutions have got a better chance of getting accepted in the marketplace, but this will mean a key battle with the technologies that don't ask any royalties. That means the air interface commoditization technologies that you see at the right-hand top side of the screen. Well, where will all of this lead? We see that a number of these small technology companies would like to enter the guerrilla game because that's really where the big money is made. Once you take a specific technology and you have a proprietary technology that you can make available to the rest of the world, and if the uptake of the community is there, then royalties come back to your company from a variety of sources. The key battle in the near future will be between Flash OFDM, HSDPA that is currently available on the cellular networks, and the WiMAX technologies that companies like Intel is pushing through the IEEE. Well, this summarizes the key battle because Qualcomm is both the patent owners of OFDM technology as well as HSDPA technology, where Intel is one of the key drivers behind the open source or open access WiMAX technologies. Why would the two companies battle it out? Well, it's quite interesting to note that Qualcomm wants to create or control the local loop via proprietary technology. And one way of doing it is to allow as many other people that they can get to manufacture the chipsets that can run on the Qualcomm technology. They therefore want to commoditize the user's hardware, and you'll see that at the top end of the screen. Intel, however, has got a totally different strategy. They are already the gorillas in the user's hardware. They manufacture chipsets, and they are pushing their chipsets to become the de facto standard in the Wi-Fi and WiMAX environment. And while they are controlling the gorilla game in the hardware space, they would really love to open up or commoditize the local loop environment. And that is why companies like Qualcomm and Intel can be seen as direct competitors, because they have directly opposing views on the future of wireless internet access. Let's quickly take a look at core network classification. In this section on core network classifications, one of the key focal points is end-to-end IP connectivity. On the following grid, you'll see the evolution in mobile technology. On the right-hand side of the screen at the bottom, you'll see how all of the different communication and protocols are changing towards a world of pure IP connectivity. This really means that any device that has a pure IP connectivity can be linked up to this network and only utilize that layer to communicate. It means that the open network philosophy is gaining ground, and that a number of new applications will come to the fore. You'll also see a green block on the right-hand side of the screen called SIP, or Session Initiation Protocol. And this enables a variety of handsets and devices to create sessions that you can utilize to make telephone calls, video calls via the IP environment. It's quite interesting to note that a number of new phones, most notably the upgrades of the Nokia E-series, the new Sony Ericsson P990, as well as a variety of Windows-based phones, especially those coming from HTC and Taiwan, are already IP and SIP enabled. And this means one thing. If I have a Wi-Fi hotspot around me and I've got Skype running on my device or any other application, I can receive all telephone calls on this device via the open network environment. So via Wi-Fi hotspot, any voice over IP call will reach my phone and I can take the call right away. The moment I move out of this perimeter, then the traditional cellular environment, either 2G or 3G network, takes over, and then I will receive normal telephone calls. So that means if I'm in any hotspot, if anyone wants to call me, remember we said that a number of telephone calls will come via computers. If anyone wants to call me and I'm available in the internet space, they'll see I'm available. My icon will be green. By simply clicking on my icon, you'll be able to give me a direct call, and I can make the call, and the cost of this call will be insignificant. Once a company pays its internet bill, then it's really free of charge. And this will have a significant impact on cellular income, simply because all of the calls that is made within a Wi-Fi covered environment will no longer run through the cellular industry. So the whole billing that normally was associated with a telephone call is no longer applicable, because you simply didn't use the cellular infrastructure to receive or make the telephone call.